Ooh. Okay. We're gonna switch. Technically not a switch, because we're inside Yuri's mind. Oh my goodness! This wasn't expected, okay? It's a scorcher outside, despite all the various banana and palm trees surrounding me. Oh yeah, the protagonist of the book is a girl, so it makes sense that Yuri pictures herself. But I can't endure such an atmosphere. I could cool down in the broken down airplane that lays abandoned in this jungle. But I don't think I have time for that right now. I have an important job at hand. There's no turning back right now. Ooh. My journey into the airplane jungle is about halfway finished. Just wanted to say this. This fight is really well done. As I still have various resources to collect for the shelter that Ellie and I are supposed to make tonight. Weird, I thought she was picturing herself as Ellie, but okay. Brandishing my pocket knife. It's very appropriate that she's the one with the knife. I begin my climb up the banana tree in front of me. Once I'm at the top, keeping myself supported with my left arm and both legs, I grab my pocket knife and tear away at the base of the leaves, making sure they fall to the ground. And then I do the same for the various banana bunches that thrive on this tree. Once this task is complete and I begin my journey downstairs, or downwards, sorry, a somewhat familiar voice makes itself known. Nani? Once I reach the ground and regain my footing, I see two monkeys running up to me. I know them, Candace and Joey. Although he wants me to call what? RPG Godfather for whatever reason. I don't judge him for having a nickname he wants to go by. Ah, hello again, you two. Candace is the first one to speak. Lady Yuri, it's good to see you again.
What is going on?
Right. I forgot he's known for his incessant yelling. I don't mind. Oh, sorry. I'm about halfway done with gathering resources for today. Looking down at the banana tree, or the banana branches in front of me, an idea comes to mind. How does snack time sound, boys? Sounds great. Just don't give Candace the green ones. He hates anything green. Laughing to myself quietly as Candace rolls his eyes, I sit back down, my back against the banana tree I just climbed, grabbing a banana bunch and tearing off 3 bananas from the bunch I've harvested. I distribute them evenly among us. It's been a while since I last ate today. I'm gonna need the energy for what I have to do. At one point in time during snack time, a rumbling of the earth can be heard. Taking a moment to figure out where such sound is coming from, I scan the area to see a rhinoceros running towards the 3 of us with something green tied around his horn. From the looks of it, he also seems to have a giant frog riding on his back. Once the both of them make their approach, the frog immediately jumps off the rhino and bounces into my lap, happily making himself at home. Lady Yuri, I haven't seen you in so long. A genuine smile appears on my face as I carefully place my free hand on the frog's forehead. His rough texture doesn't really feel that bad. Winky, I'm happy to see you too. I'm sorry I haven't been around your part of the woods to visit lately. No worries, we're all busy at times. Soft croaking noises can be heard from him as he happily resets for a bit. Or rests, sorry. This text is kind of confusing. My attention is then averted to the rhinoceros, who seems to be having difficulty with trying to remove the vines from his trunk. This is Rambi, a friend that Ellie and I made recently, and the soon-to-be recipient of the shelter that will be made later tonight. It makes me happy that I'm going to be helping a friend with his everyday life. Wait, sorry. Oh wait, the text even brings here. Hey guys, a little help here. Both of the monkeys then get up from their spot and walk over to help him out. Candace takes the vines off Rambi's horn but ends up getting tangled in himself. curious, did this audio come from a YouTube video or was it a legit recording? I still have questions why he thinks it's necessary to shout most of the time. After a little bit, the vines are gingerly placed next to the banana leaf pile I've accumulated. Here are the vegetable ropes I've gathered for you, Lady Yuri. They're called vines, but thank you nonetheless. Anytime. I must run off now. I'll be at the West River Plains if you need me again. I don't blame him for wanting to spend time there. There's a beautiful chasm over there that divides the West and East River Plains. It's definitely a relaxing area. I shall visit there again sometime. Alright, please be safe. With that, Rambi turns around and runs off, as his task for the day is now complete. Averting my vision upwards towards the sky, I take a moment to let my mind wander and relax for a bit. All within the company of my ambitious and orangutan friends. But this doesn't last long, as I remember the other jobs that must be completed before dusk. I think it's time for me to take my leave now. I look down to Winky still in my lap, relieved that he hasn't fallen asleep yet. Will you be able to make it home safe? I should be just fine. Alright, if you say so. I then arise from my spot to the tree, or by the tree, to look towards my other two friends and smile. Farewell, you two. They both wave to me as I begin my walk towards the broken down airplane. It only takes a few steps of mine for hearing that unforgettable yelling again. I swear that boy's never going to change, is he? Within the short walk to the airplane, I take out my pocket knife again, as I'll be harvesting hibiscus flowers. There's an abundance of them growing by the old airplane, not to mention a variety of colors among them. Excitement builds up inside me at the thought of being able to decorate something that I've taken part in building. Whenever I approach the airplane, my excitement quickly becomes downcast at the sight of my parrot friend, Squawks, who is taking shelter inside the airplane with a rather gloomy face. Hey, is everything alright? That's when he looks up to me and meet my gaze. No, Lady Yuri, is there any way you could help me out? I'm kinda scared because the text is red. I can at least try. Please tell me what's wrong. He takes a moment to regain his composure. My darling Perry is stuck in the Skull Rock jungle. She got herself caught in one of the Squitter's webs again. I know who's he talking about. Squitter is a freakishly large, non-venomous, thank God, spider that roams around these jungles. But he prefers to be called Shoes, as he somehow managed to obtain all 4 pairs of shoes for himself. A troublemaker. Well, it's a good thing I'm heading that way in the first place. I'll go investigate for you. I was planning to go there mainly because of the excessive amount of bamboo that goes around that area, but now I have more reasons to head that way. Thanks, you're the best. I smile back at him and quickly make my way over to the dark cave that's on the opposite side of this jungle. I had to pass through there if I want to access the Skull Rock jungle. Here's our next destination. Dang, I really like this! Woo! They don't call this place Dark Cave for no reason. Inside here is much quieter than outside. No weather-related elements to deal with. Stones of various sizes are scattered all around the area. Stalagates, sorry, cover the ceiling in certain spots, and there are a few obsidian deposits around. They only had a stone hammer and stone chisel. I could use both of those tools to harvest obsidian to potentially create my very own knife. I can't help but giggle at the thought of creating my very own knife collection out here in the wilderness. Is this foreshadowing that she does have a knife collection? Oh wait, she does. I could start a new life as an artisan, forging and etching my own designs in the caves I make. or into knives I make. It would be like a dream come true. Right. Back to more important matters. It's a miracle I remember my way around this cave, since I haven't been around in a while. If memory serves me right, the way out of here to the Skull Rock jungle is on the exact opposite side of this cave. One rather long yet peaceful walk to the other side, I stop in my tracks as I realize I have a small yet steep hill to traverse in order to reach the jungle. Okay, this shouldn't be too bad. I can handle this. Taking a moment to breathe freely, I approach the passage in front of me and begin to climb one limb at a time. One minute later, and I reach the top. Exhaustion is slowly starting to become apparent. It is growing more and more due to the heat I'm subjecting myself to, but I must keep moving. Before I begin my journey towards a giant bamboo patch that grows in this jungle, I can't help but notice a very faint buzzing sound, almost like a beehive. Standing still to inspect the area, my eyes land on a noticeably large beehive hanging from a giant tree in the middle of this jungle. But no swarms of bees are present. But I know where to avoid walking now. Traversing towards the varied wildlife around me, I make my way over to the massive clay pit that's close to the mini bamboo field, only to see a giant spider constructed between a mango and a lychee fruit tree. And it's highlighted because, well, sentimental value, I guess. Lychee fruit. Ooh, I called it. It was sentimental to us. Those remind me of my special someone who wrote a permanent spot in my home. Okay. Okay. Well, I guess confirmed. They have something. Like, even if it's friendship, at least she does virtue or value us. I'm getting my words mixed up. Those are his all-time favorite. If only I weren't so far away from you. Oh, how I missed you so. Aww. Well, friend or in a relationship, it's really nice that she values us this way, or this much. There's that buzzing sound again, but it's louder than the last time I heard it. What on earth is going on? There's no bees around. I haven't been out in the heat for that long. Or haven't been out in the heat. Maybe my mind is playing tricks on me? I should probably ignore it. There are more important matters at hand. One glance at both trees show a yellow quetzal with red and blue feathers. Stuck on the web trying to break free from the impromptu prison she's found herself in. I think this is my time to shine. Approaching both trees, I brandished my pocket knife yet again, just in case I need it. Harry, what is going on? I wasn't paying attention to where I was flying and now I'm trapped here. Did Squawk send you over here? You did. Allow me to help you. Please hold still for a bit. Carefully grabbing a hold of Perry with my left hand, I slowly, yet skillfully, slash away on the spiderweb in an attempt to rescue her. After a few draining moments, Perry is free from the web, and also free from any remaining web that may have stuck to her. Taking a moment to store my knife away, I bring both my hands together for Perry to rest on them. Thanks, Lady Yuri. You're a lifesaver. She then playfully jumps around and gives me a quick peck on the cheek. Aww. It's nothing really. Now, let's learn from our mistakes, shall we? You know it. Where did Squawks fly off to? He's over by the rundown plain right now. Without another word, Perry flies towards the dark cave to return to her better half. That's done. Now for the bamboo. Can't ignore that cursed buzzing sound any longer as it becomes louder and louder as the seconds pass. Aggravated at the possible realization I might be going insane, I start frantically looking around the area in hopes to disprove such thoughts. It's when I look up to the sky to see several dozen mechanical bees with buzzsaws for stingers invading the sky. My blood runs cold at my eye, and my eyes widen at the sight as I'm frozen in place. That's when I hear the trumpeting scream of an elephant. I know this is supposed to be her concern, but those eyes will always and will forever creep me out. That must be Ellie. But that sounded more high-pitched and distressed than her usual tone, which brings me even less at ease. Within seconds, I see her running towards me at such unstoppable speed that I've never seen in all my life. But her eyes are widened out of fear. What? Yuri, get out of here! Chaos! I'm gonna presume that's chaos. Chaos is coming! She's now several feet away from me, still keeping up speed. Nobody around there drops the honorific from my home, of my name. From my name, the music is distracting me, unless it's absolutely crucial. Looking up at the sky again. Past the base is a green mechanical jet-propelled robot. Flying through the sky with a stainless steel skull as a head, mechanical arms with boxing gloves attached, and some blades that protrude at 360 its whole body. That must be chaos. Several grenades are dropped from inside the inside compartments of the piece above. My eyes widen even more. The ladder of my fight or flight response kicks in, and I run fast as I can towards the dark cave. It's the only real safe place this island has to offer. As there many explosions can be heard in the background, each one increasing my adrenaline. Wait, Ramby's over that way. That's where the chasm is. Oh no. Get out of here, it's not safe here, and the text is red, which means please run. The sound of explosions are getting closer. It's the embarrassing, agonizing screams of my fellow animal friends as I approach the entrance to the dark cave. Oh god, it's burning! I turn around to begin my descent, only to see blood and skeleton matter splashed across the base of the cheeks in front of me. The sickening sight in front of me brings me to tears, which makes it hard to focus on my climb downwards. Oh god! What the hell? I mean, I kinda had a hunch that the story would be kind of like for children because it's called Ellie in the Jungle, but that was not what I expected. God! The loud thud coming from the closet snaps me out of my story-esque reverie. Looking to my left, I get a glimpse of Natsuki laying her back on the closet, which does make me a bit concerned. But my attention is then overpowered by my sense of balance, being slightly thrown off by almost dropping Midas' book. Looking to my right, Midas completely let go of his side of the book as he's covering his ears as he has his head down on our desk. But why? I can't believe the sight in front of me as I quickly look around the room in an attempt to think of what to do. Oh goodness, was it really that loud? Don't try to tell me we were trying to reenact that. Oh no, what do I do? I never had to deal with this before. I'm his friend, aren't I? I should be there for him, right? Oh. I then realize it's probably us, MC, trying to, or rather, feeling or remembering the thoughts of the book. The horrific thoughts of the book, which Yuri vividly colored, and wow, that wasn't what I expected. That in mind, I set the book down, place my free hand on his shoulder, and somewhat firmly grip him, as if me applying pressure is weakening whatever kind of state of mind he's in. Midas, is everything okay? After a moment, he seems to have calmed down enough to bring himself up from the desk and look towards me. That's when I remove my hand from his shoulder. Yeah, I'm alright now. I just don't do well with really loud sounds. I understand. As long as you're feeling alright. I was a little scared there for a moment. It is then that the both of us notice Monica's walking over to the closet to see what exactly has happened. Sayori with her. Natsuki, what happened? I'm fine. I only fell like not even half a meter, okay? Alright, just making sure you're not hurt at all. What disturbed us then? Was it Natsuki? I said I'm fine! I can handle myself. Ah, you say so. Now that I have everyone's attention, we should begin poem sharing now. We're gonna need some time for my announcement afterwards. What are our thoughts at the moment? God! Now that all my senses have returned to normal, I should prepare myself for poem reading today. Something else comes to mind. Hey Yuri? What about the hiccups? Oh, yes, those. I'll take care of everything when I get a free moment today. Alright, good. Let me know if you need a hand or anything. Alright, that's enough, Yato. I've got some talking with Yuri to do. Wait, where did she come from? And what is she gonna tell Yuri? Oh, I guess Lansky wants to get Yuri out of the way first. Maybe she wants to talk about what happened yesterday or something. Fair enough. I then stand up from my seat and walk over to grab my backpack from the ground. I'll see you two at a later time. Yuri waves goodbye at me while I take my leave, which makes me smile a little bit. Now comes the question. Who should I see first? I think I'll be more comfortable talking with Sayori first. We had a decent time today, so sharing poems with her sounds pretty enjoyable. She wrote a good one yesterday. I can't wait to see what she wrote for today. With that, I began walking to her, a smile still on my face. Hello again. Hi Midas. Ready to share what you wrote today? Yeah, but mind you now, this is my first time trying to write stuff like this. So sorry if it's not up to par with you guys. Hey, no need to worry. We all gotta start somewhere, right? I mean, she's not wrong. Yeah, I suppose so. Hang on, let me grab it for you. It takes a little bit, but I managed to grab my attempt at the poem out of my backpack and hand it over to Sayori. After looking at it for a little bit, she then puts on a very shocked face. You pay less than I do? We accidentally gave her our bills. What? After carefully taking my supposedly inexpensive poem away from her, I take a closer look at it only to find that I gave her my electricity bill instead of my poem. That was the sound of my palm of my hand splashing across my forehead. I mean, it's a little bit funny that I managed to do that, but now I think it's time to get serious. Yeah, my bad. Let me get it for real this time. Man, maybe I should do what Yuri does with her back to mine so I can be more organized. Searching through my bag a bit more carefully this time, I hand her the correct piece of paper, and she starts to read. After a minute or so, she hands it back to me. Okay, not bad for your first time. I could tell you were really trying to put emotion into your work. That's rather nice. And in all honesty, I thought it would be a good idea to write down how I felt about what happened at the lake last night. Well, thanks. All I can say is that the format and wordplay needs some fixing up. Take a look at mine, for example. Her smile slowly starts fading away as she hands hers to read. As she hands me hers to read. Pretty much same old Sayori. Bottles. Good lord, that took quite a turn. Hey Sayori, I don't mean in disrespect, but this makes me feel sad for whatever reason. This feels like the opposite of yesterday's. I then hand her back her poem, and her expression changes a little bit. I decided to write about feelings today. Monica always told me that perspective is something important, so I thought I'd step outside of the box with this one. That sounds like it takes quite a bit of skill. That's rather impressive. It was a little tricky trying to write out of my comfort zone, but I think I did pretty well. Perspective though? Yeah! I've been told that writing about many different things really shows off your range. It's easy for me to write about something or to write about happy things, so writing about sad topics was quite the challenge. I see that. Well, it definitely made me feel things, so I'd say you've done well. Thanks, Midas. Isn't there a word for both happy and sad? I swear there is. Bittersweet? Yeah, that's it. I'll have to try writing about that sometime. You'll have to show me sometime. I'll be willing to read. Okie dokie. By the way, if you ever need help with poems and such, I'm sure Yuri will be a big help. She's super smart, you know. I can't help but blush at Yuri mentioning her name and also bringing my left hand to the back of my head. She really is. She helped me understand what I was talking about with Monica today. Well, that's good. She really is a good friend, isn't she? I don't respond back. Instead, my blurry becomes even more apparent. I really wish I didn't right now. I knew you two would like each other. Now I can't help but bury my head in my hands for a bit. Of all the people who made me uncomfortable in the school, I didn't expect it to be her. Alright, I'll stop bugging you. Thanks. I think I'm gonna go talk to her now. Bye, I'm gonna go see Monica. Smiling at her, I turn around to check out what's happening, mainly between Yuri and Natsuki. I didn't hear any shouting or anything when I was talking to Sayori, so that's a good sign. Like I said, I think I want to share with Yuri next. I can't wait to see what she wrote for today. Hey, Eartha Dummy! Whoa! Hey, don't scare me like that. I can't help it if you make it too easy. Why does she have to be right? Alright, cut it out now. Let's see what you wrote for today. Removing my hand from my forehead, I look down to my poem in my other hand and give it to her. Surprisingly enough, she doesn't rip it out of my hands like how she did yesterday. Just like Sayori, she seems to breeze through it and then hand it back to me. I'm not surprised one bit that you wrote like this. What's up with this sentence structure though? What? I say, this looks more like a letter than a poem. Well, this is my first time and all. Oh boy, I can tell. Hang on, let me show you how a real pro does it. Didn't you say something about being a pro yesterday? Whatever. Why didn't you write about one girl of the... sorry. Why didn't you write about one of the girls in our school? Amy, it's a good thing I never talked to Amy. If not, she has this much to say about her. Well then, I see what you're trying to say now. I told ya. But why'd you write about spiders if you don't like them so much? And what's with I'm gonna tell everyone? A little thing called symbolism? Why don't you look it up sometime? She's a pro, then why don't she just tell me? Let me see how weird you can get. I'm sure you have an unusual hobby or two. Yeah, a few. Wait, shoot, that doesn't make me look good. I'm not even gonna ask. Anyway, doesn't it feel bad to have someone treat you differently all because you like something that other people find weird? Yeah. How do you know that? Bro, how do I know that? You even mentioned earlier today that I'm the only girl who who reads manga. You see what I'm trying to get at? Not really. We can talk about this later, you big dummy. I'm gonna go see what Monica's doing. She takes her palm from my hand and walks off to where Sayori and Monica are. She never did bring up the whole I'm gonna tell everyone part. Oh well, I'm sure it's not that important. Looking around the room once again, my eyes land on Yuri, still sitting at her desk, who seems to have taken care of our mess from earlier. I hope she didn't put everything in her bag. Since Monica is busy and I've already seen Sayori, I know what I'm doing. I happily approach Yuri. Hello again. Hello again. Ready to share what you wrote for today? Sure. Just give me a moment. Oh? I take this moment to grab a chair close to me and place it in the same spot like last time, so that I'm facing Yuri again. I really hope she doesn't mind. Okay, here's what I got. I hand her my poem. Unlike Sayori Natsuki, she takes her time to examine it, her face changing expressions every now and then. She then hands it back to me. Midas? If I may ask, is this your first time writing a poem? I'll admit, it is. I figured as much. I didn't mean to put it that way. Sorry. That's one thing I like about Yuri. She is at least polite and means well. It's alright. I'm not upset. Are you sure? Promise. Should I wink at her to further prove it's alright? Nah, that will be weird. Very well then. I was able to pick up on some emotions that were shown throughout. Well, the wordplay is decent. The structure for everything was, well, it needs to be changed up, right? Essentially. Sayori Natsuki told me something similar. Maybe I could see yours to see how it's really done. Of course. I was a little more daring at this one. Ooh, now this I have to say. I'm really curious why her font is a bit bigger. So far, there's nothing new. It's just that the font is bigger. Huh. One would think that Yuri would write about animals. Didn't she say she liked them yet earlier today? I don't really remember any raccoons being in my book. That's not important. Wow, Yuri, another painting drawn in my head. But this time, it moved. How'd you get so good at this? Well, I have been at this hobby for quite a while now. It's definitely true what people say. One gets better with time, as I'm sure you will if you keep this up. I'll take your word for it. I find it interesting that you thought of my work as a painting. One could see a piece of paper as a canvas, not just for a drawing, but to also let emotions and imagery fill the page. A famous singer once said, "The beauty of literature, poetry, and music is that they leave room for the audience to put its own imagination, experiences, and dreams into words." That I can 100% agree. In this case, I feel like expressing one of my more unusual hobbies, which is why I have a little more unusual hobbies. Just like what Natsuki said. Natsuki never did properly explain symbolism. And Yuri, that reminds me. Could you help me understand what symbolism is? Why that all of a sudden? Well, when you mentioned unusual hobbies, that made me remember what Natsuki wrote about. She mentioned something about symbolism in hers, I don't quite get it. Oh, Yuri looks around the room out of nervousness. Maybe I should be patient with her, since I did ask her to explain something to me. Yeah, I'll just let the gears grind in her head for a bit. I'll be patient. That's when she suddenly looks back up as if a light bulb turned on, reaches down into her bag, pulls out a purple folder and another piece of paper to give me. I managed to give today's poem back to her, which she carefully takes as I grab the paper she's now giving me. It's yesterday's poem. But why this? Okay, I think I'm ready to explain. I nod at her, my non-verbal way of saying I'm ready. Yuri seems to relax for a bit for whatever reason. Remember yesterday how I said that the person in this poem was being symbolically compared to a ghost? Yeah, I remember that. Yesterday, you noticed that the streetlight in this poem acted as a safe haven, as you put it. Just wanted to let this out. Really cool that they really teared up the paper considering Natsuki did tear it up a bit. Clever word choice, by the way. Whoa, she remembered that? Yes, that's true. Do you see what's happening here? The streetlight as a safe haven, the ghost as a person, spiders as an unusual hobby. Eh? I start scratching my head out of confusion. Where did that come from? Oh, right. Yuri already had a chance to see what Natsuki wrote. Don't worry, Midas. I am also surprised that Natsuki wrote about the same concept. In her poem, this person she kept on referring to was the subject of ridicule, all because wait! I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think I get it! Oh? You're using a person or a thing like nouns primarily to describe something different, right? Well, you're on the right track. Symbolism is mainly used to express ideas and emotions without blatantly telling us. Why couldn't Natsuki have just told me that in the first place? So, that sounds like an interesting way of being vague. Yuri seems to ponder over what I just said, as if it's something she never thought of before. I suppose that's right. Allow me to offer an example. Ooh, please do so. Think of rain clouds that form from the sky when the weather is just right. Do you have any idea what emotion would be resembled by rain clouds? Usually when it's raining outside, I become nervous and sometimes feel restricted on what can be done. It's even worse when it's accompanied by thunder and lightning. Yeah, I don't want to think about that right now. Rain makes me feel apprehensive. He looks at me like I said something wrong. That's not quite what I was going for. I was thinking that it correlates to sadness. Okay, that makes sense too. I think I understand now. Isn't Sayuri going to cough? Thanks for clearing that up for me. Yuri gives a reassuring smile, as if she has accomplished something. Now, Yuri, couldn't you say something else? Something about someone being subject to ridicule? I did. The gears start grinding in my head as I indirectly stare at the desk in front of me. Ridicule. Unusual hobbies, spiders, fickle and einhorn. Holy girl that likes manga, einhorn and fickle. Is she really trying to say that spiders are her manga? After hearing what I just said, I never thought I'd say something so stupid in my life. That's a very good chance that it's true, but I can't say for certain. Well, I'm not gonna judge her about that. You said you wrote about an unusual hobby too, right? Yes. Sometimes it helps put my mind at ease to write about them, since I often keep to myself about them. Them? As in plural? Huh, I wonder why. She doesn't respond to that, and I wonder why indeed. Instead, she looks away embarrassed. Maybe I should have said that. My bad, Yuri. I wasn't thinking right there. No, it's fine. Don't you have anything like that? I suppose so. There are some things from my childhood that I still like to keep up with to this day. I don't really talk about them though. I found out the hard way that mainly talking mainly about esoteric things may only makes people feel differently about you, or think differently about you, and not want to be around you. But when you find someone who shares interest in such topics, it makes you feel like you've struck gold. So you've experienced it too. You're not alone in that regard. Midas? When I was younger, reading was my main hobby, but nobody had a great interest, or as great interest, in reading as I did, which makes me feel like I wasn't able to have many conversations about it much. Again, with the feeling of being trapped in a cage. That's what it felt like sometimes. Gosh, what kind of stuff does she read to think of stuff like that? There are very few people in school who share the same hobbies as me, which I meant I barely interacted with anyone. While I could only barely make friends, let alone acquaintances, that's when I could find myself lost inside my books. She's not only lost in her books, she vividly paints them. They've always been a nice escape when reality becomes too much sometimes, and people didn't want me to be around them. Many different worlds to explore, people to befriend. Nobody to judge me just because of how different and weird I am. She then looks back up to me while I'm left speechless. It wasn't until I joined this club last year that I was able to interact with people more and share one of my hobbies with others. Just like you said earlier, it feels like I've struck gold. Monica, Sayori, Natsuki, they've always been people I could talk to if I ever needed to. But nobody has ever went out of their way to make me feel included, to want to be actual friends with, like you have. Knowing that we share so much in common makes me, that much more pleasant. I can't help but feel proud of myself after hearing her say all that. It's as if an accomplishment to me or something. But at the same time, I can't help but empathize at what her not being able to interact well with others. Well, it's just like what you said yesterday, Yuri. Nobody deserves to be lonely. And that includes you. She smiles sweetly at me. Oh, you. Besides that, I guess the best we should do is to not make others feel bad about what brings them happiness, as difficult as it can be at times. Something at the back of my mind is screaming at me because of how much quieter the room has become, but I'm choosing to ignore that right now, as this is one of the few times I have my eyes locked onto hers. She's so much more important right now. I completely agree, Yuri. That sounds a lot like a golden rule, to treat others how they want to be treated. Speaking of which, thanks for listening to me, even though I talk too much sometimes. That means a lot to me. Midas, I don't mind at all. I too must say thanks, because you're a good listener. But I space out sometimes. I don't think I'm that good. Midas, you're good at a lot of things. You pick up and understand your concepts rather quickly from what I've seen, and you're not afraid to be yourself. I find that highly commendable. Another dumb smile makes its way onto my face as I start scratching the back of my head again, just like yesterday when when we were discussing poems. Well, it's not that hard to understand your stuff, and you do such a good job at explaining everything. She gives me the cutest smile as she looks away from me, turning pink once again today. Well, look what we have going on here. Both Yuri and I quickly look over to become shocked, nearly falling off my seat to see Monica standing right by us. I shudder at the thought of how long Monica has been listening to us. I think that's enough character development for one day. Come on, you two, I have an announcement to make about the festival. Announcement? I look over to see Yuri once again. May as well find out what this is about. Yuri nods at me, then they both get up from her desk and avert our attention to Monica. Okay, everyone. The festival is happening next Monday, and I know what we're going to do for our part. Our part? We're not going to be doing what we did last year, are we? I figured we may as well, now that we have a proper number of members. I have high hopes that our performance will be better than last year's. Yay, we get to share again! Not again. Maybe I shouldn't be staring, but again, I think I can see Yuri shaking a little bit. Oh, Yuri, don't sound too afraid. The four of us were able to do this last year, so we can all do this one last time. We're all in our senior year after all, right, Midas? I most certainly am. And not to mention, last year's performance didn't quite turn out the best. So, think of this as a redemption arc, if you will. Hey Monica, how are we gonna make this year's festival better? I must have completely missed this club's performance last year. This year I figured that everyone should prepare something, like decorations and such for the room. Speaking of which, are you not making a poster to put on the poster board tomorrow, Sayori? I sure am! I'll take care of that once we're done today. Oh, so that's what she's drawing yesterday. All of us will have to write a poem for the festival just like last year. Monica, you do know I don't do well with last-minute preparations. Oh, so I have to write for the festival? But I'm not sure what to write about. Who's going to do what for the festival? I was just about to go over that. Since the meeting for today is pretty much over, I figured that all of us should think about what we should do, or what we could do, to pitch in on Monday, and then we'll make decision tomorrow on what should be done. I still don't know about this, we could end up embarrassing ourselves. Last year wasn't too bad, but you never know. Oh come on, Natsuki, I'm sure everything will turn out great again. That's the spirit! Speaking of which, I instinctively look over to the clock after seeing Monica do it. Isn't that what they call monkey see, monkey do? It's almost 4. Monica looks back at all of us. That's enough for now, everyone. Don't forget to write a poem for tomorrow. A successful day at the club for once, not bad. Having everything all ready to go, I feel like I should see Natsuki before I leave and let her know what Yuri told me. Looking around the room shows me that everyone else is also preparing to leave. I have to head to the closet real quick. I'm feeling a little bit happy about mine and Yuri's accomplishments today. Hey, Natsuki, got a moment? Maybe. What is it? Just wanted to say that you don't have to explain what symbolism is to me anymore. Yuri did a good job at that. Good for you. Now leave me alone. I'm going home. Without another word, she walks away from me and out of the club room. Any happiness I was previously feeling has been replaced with an uncomfortable feeling, like I did something wrong and out of place. Why do I even bother? After a few seconds of wallowing in my self-pity, I feel someone tapping on my left shoulder. Breaking out of my trance, I look over to see Yuri standing in front of me. Excuse me, Midas. Just hearing her voice is slowly putting me back at ease. Since we're friends and all, I was wondering if we could... I may as well be patient with her again. I need some time to think clearly anyways, after what happened with Natsuki. Walk home together? Yes, please! That will make me feel much better. Yes, I would really like to. It would make me really happy. I can feel my happiness slowly returning at the thought of walking after school with her. Yuri lets out what sounds to be a sigh of relief. Alright then. Shall we get going? The smile that has replaced her nervousness makes me smile in return. Yes, let's. With my backpack and our 4-dimensional secret gadget bag in tow, we both leave the classroom with me making sure to open the door for her. The school hallway is as quiet as it usually is as Yuri and I make our way to the school entrance, with the occasional few conversations from other students here and there. Looking over to Yuri, I can't help but think one thing. Whose house are we going to? I don't know why, but asking her whose house we're going to seems intrusive to me, so I maybe should ask something different. Hey Yuri, let me ask, do you have any other plans for today? Oh my! Well, no, not really. Just homework, chores, and writing for tomorrow. So nothing out of the ordinary then, I'm guessing. Yes, I guess you could say I'm pretty mundane. I mean, I see nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, I beg to differ. There's nothing particularly wrong with that. Life doesn't need to be exciting all the time. I agree. Now what about you, Midas? Huh? Oh yeah. I have to go to the 24-hour store. There's some unfinished business from last night I need to get taken care of. Oh, the one just north of the park? That's only a 2-minute walk from my house. Well, I think that answers everything. So, it would probably make sense to take you back to your place? I suppose so. Then it's settled. It doesn't take us long before the two of us reach the school entrance and make our way outside. Let's swap to Yuri. I wonder what's gonna happen. It's considerably warmer outside compared to yesterday, and the breeze is calm. It's almost time for the sun to set, but that doesn't bother me one bit. Looking around the school courtyard shows various students scattered around along with couples every now and then. I don't usually become jealous of such interactions, mainly because I don't view myself worthy as such admiration. I'm certain I'll meet my storybook hero sometime in the future. Besides, that's most of my concerns right now. I still have school and other issues to deal with. Other issues? I also hope I don't get any unnecessary attention tomorrow because I'll be walking out of school with a boy. After some time on our walk home with my mind still stuck on what I saw in the school courtyard, an indescribable weird feeling that resides just below my heart washes over me. I remember what Notsky said to me yesterday on our walk home with her. Unusual choice of words. Aww. He's happy. I then look over to Midas, who's essentially keeping to himself, and flashbacks from lunchtime strike me. My embarrassing maneuver with lychee fruit and the unrequited display of affection. It's not that I didn't want to, I just was thrown off guard and I don't know how to properly respond. Now that I feel a little bad about not returning the favor. I even said it when yesterday. I'm sure I'll get another... Huh? Looking over to Midas once again shows a big smile on his face and is clapping to himself for whatever reason. I bet it's a good reason. The innocent scene in front of me is rather adorable if I'm being perfectly honest. He almost reminds me of Sayuri in some ways. Midas, what's going on? Oh, I just got really happy over something I thought of. May I ask what about? Well, it says that all throughout high school, I've never been able to contribute anything to the festival. I've always participated. Now that I'm in a club and all the 5 of us are going to be putting on something to take part in the festival, I feel more important than years before. He has such a positive outlook on the festival. I feel a little jealous about it. Last year's performance was very draining for me. I don't know how I'll manage this year. Having to recite in front of everyone again. I don't want to think about that right now. But maybe this year... Hey Yuri, what are you thinking about? I'm sorry. Did you say something? You've been awfully quiet ever since I mentioned the festival. Oh. That was what I was thinking about. I guess I'm not as excited as you are. I wonder why. If I may ask, how did the festival turn out last year? Why did he have to bring that up? Maybe we should be vague about this, but also honest to him. Well, it was alright, I guess. I just don't do well in front of people, that's all. Hey, no worries there, I can understand that. People can be really weird at times. But dealing with them, either you know exactly what to do or have absolutely no idea how to get certain things around and your train of thought derails. I chuckled a little bit at his wordplay, but he does have a point. I'm certain we'll all do well this year, especially since you guys have experience with this thanks to last year. If anything, I'm the one who won't do as good of a job as you guys. I have this weird feeling that I'll make the club look bad. I don't really like it when he speaks down about himself. Where's that lunch today? And now here? I feel like I shouldn't let this go on. Midas, the only way you won't perform well at the festival is if you don't think you won't. Please don't be so hard on yourself. He doesn't respond to what I just said, instead he blankly stares at the ground as we're still walking. I was too forward again. It's not like it. Wait, what? It's not like me to. You're right, Yuri. No? Yeah, I really shouldn't be. It's just every time that I've tried wording out loud or reading out loud, whether it be for a group meeting or a presentation, things just seem to go downhill for me. I just don't want that to happen at the festival and embarrass myself in front of everyone. I also have difficulty when it comes to talking in front of people, as I may have previously mentioned. But you're also right, Midas. All of us will do an excellent job if we put our minds to it. I really hope what I'm saying will be true. His whole expression seems to change after what I just said. That's right. Let's make this year the best festival ever. I can't help but smile at this optimism. It's rather endearing. I find it a little bit hard to believe that he was friends with Sayuri at all before joining the club. The rest of the walk to my house is relatively quiet. Looking over at Midas every now and then shows him with a very content look, and he's fidgeting with his hands quite often. Maybe that's just something he does, but at the same time I don't know if anyone else does that. Thoughts from earlier make their way back to me, as well as what happened post-lunchtime. Why do these thoughts keep bugging me? Maybe I should repay the favor today, but at the same time I'm not sure. Why can't I stop feeling this way? A squirrel running across the sidewalk where we're on breaks me from my trance and realize exactly where we are. Midas, we're almost there. Just a few more houses to go. Okay, I'm glad I was able to walk you to your place. Yes, thank you again. Not a problem. His smile never leaves his face. Where does he get that much positive energy from? Ooh, this is new. Ooh. After a moment of walking, we arrive at my house. I reach into my bag to pull out my keys and unlock my front door. But before I step in my house, I turn around to see Midas for what might be the last time today. Aww. Okay, do I hug him back now because of how today turned out or not? I'm still not sure. Let's see what happens. Thanks again for walking me home. It was a pleasure. There is a battle of wills going on inside me now. A part of me really wants to return the favor while the other part of me is desperately restricting all my movements. It was fun! I'd love to do this again sometime, but I gotta get going now. See you tomorrow. After waving goodbye to me, he slowly turns around and proceeds to walk away from my house to wherever he said he needed to be today. I can't help but watch as he walks away, while a creeping feeling of regret makes its way into my emotions. I missed my chance. I had the opportunity, but I didn't take it. Hopefully tomorrow will be different. Leaving Yuri's house and telling her I'll see her later, I can't help but feel happiness afterwards. This is the first time I've ever walked home with someone, albeit not to my house, and it felt great! I decided not to try bugging her again, or hugging her again rather, after seeing what happened right after lunchtime, so I thought it would be best to respect her personal space. I'm glad that's one thing my mom taught me when I was younger. Besides, the girl deserves it. I wouldn't want to ruin things between me and her. It's starting to get darker and darker outside, as it should. I feel like I should hurry up and get this side job done before it gets completely dark outside. I still have quite a bit of stuff to do for tomorrow when I get home. Yuri was right. After a minute or so of walking, I'm at the 24-hour store I was supposed to go last night. Right? Let's hope nobody I know is here. Taking a deep breath, I step into the store. Why do I feel like we're gonna jinx it? Taking a look around, thankfully nobody that I know is here. Good, less people to interact with. As I'm walking to the front counter to request 2 money orders and some stamps, something in one of the coolers catches my eye. Looking inside one of the coolers shows Itoen brand bottles of golden oolong tea. Huh, I don't think I've ever seen this before. I wonder if those taste anything like the tea that Yuri made today. You know what? I'm sure Yuri would appreciate me bringing in something for lunchtime tomorrow. So why not? Grabbing 2 bottles and checking the price, $2.5 each, or $2.25. But 50 cents, sorry. I can't help but remember that the credit card I have is strictly for bills and groceries. I could pay for them with my debit card, but that would mean more than social interaction with Mr. Cashier, man. No thanks. This is technically groceries, right? You know what? I don't care. Once I'm up to the front counter, I make my request for 2 money, orders, some stamps, pay for everything, take the time to shove everything into my backpack so I don't lose anything, and leave the store. After a few minutes of walking, I try to make my way home. I make my way to the park from yesterday. My mind has been focused on how I'm going to go getting stuff mailed out tomorrow. My plan of action is probably gonna be to take care of this tomorrow, as I've got some stuff to do that needs to get done when I get home tonight. I take a moment to enter the park and sit down at one of the benches while the sky becomes darker and darker to take it easy for a bit. Yeah, I'll probably end up stopping by the blue mailbox that's really close to here on my way home from the school tomorrow. Sitting down and staring at nothing in particular helps me feel more and more at ease. Now that I think about it, I'm not really in a big hurry to get home right now, so I have some time to hang out. After a minute of lazily relaxing and letting my mind wander, an idea comes to mind that hits me like a bus. I'm at the park, the lake that Yuri and I... That lake where me and Yuri, rather, were at yesterday is just over there. I'm gonna go hang out there instead. A sense of excitement fills me as I make my way towards the path in the forest. Walking down the path brings me a bit more excitement within me. It's almost too much to handle. The cool breeze, sounds of leaves crunching under my feet, and insects flying around help memories of yesterday make their way into my mind, which makes me appreciate this place that much more. I understand that Yuri won't be here with me, but that's fine. Nobody says I can't go here by myself, and my parents sure aren't stopping me right now. The scene in front of me is nearly as beautiful as yesterday, this time with the moon rising instead of playing around in the night sky with its friendly stars. The same fallen tree is still there untouched, both the water and the breeze is as calm as it could be. Taking a seat at the tree and staring out into the water brings me a sense of familiarity and safety, of comfortableness and serenity. As I stare into the seemingly endless landscape of water in front of me, events from the day begin to play out in my mind. There was lunchtime when you saved not only myself but the whole situation. Making tea with her, having an impromptu date in the club room, being together, sharing poems with her opening up to me about her problems. Some weird feeling that's stronger than a warm, tingly feeling makes itself known as I picture her warm, lovable smile. She's one of the best friends I've ever had in my life. I know we met for the first time a few days ago, but is it wrong for me to think so highly of her? She's fun to be around, even if she does ramble on about the little things. She's so, do I say, beautiful, both in her heart and how she looks. It feels like an honor just to look in her into the eyes. I know it's not nice to stare, but I can't help if everything about her just feels so admirable. She's nice, caring, really smart, and doesn't really mind putting up with my baloney, despite how difficult and different I may be. And I'm pretty sure that's not how you spell baloney. It's, if you read it, it's balogna. She, from what I can remember, she gave my book a chance, but she wouldn't even give Natsuki's manga any consideration. The feeling of appreciation for her that I felt back when we were making tea has made its return, this time more intense. I can't stop myself from feeling this way. I wonder what she feels about everything. What is this emotion that has such a sway over me? Could this possibly be love? I don't know. Isn't it a bit too early to be thinking about that? I don't know. Besides, I can't force her to feel any certain way. All I can do is be myself towards her. I have to be genuine to her. She deserves it. I don't want her to feel lonely. Nobody deserves that. I then stand up from the tree and look directly at the moon, which is still rising ever so slowly, becoming enveloped by clouds. Let's just see how things turn out tomorrow, or from here on out. Maybe someday, maybe I'll be able to express my feelings. Man, that'll be the day, wouldn't it? Ooh, I haven't seen this before. It reminds me of that one time. I can't remember. There's a certain scene from Thomas that it's this dark and something bad happens. Pretty sure it was Henry. Taking one last glance at the lake and taking this moment to breathe, I'll turn around and make my way to the path to begin my travels back home. As much as I wish I could stay at this spot for longer, there are certain important things that must be done before bedtime, like writing a poem for tomorrow. Thank goodness we remembered. Speaking of which, didn't say write about feelings today? We're gonna write about our feelings! Oh no! I wonder how that'll turn out. Maybe I should try doing just that. Stopping in my tracks as soon as I reach the path, I turn around to view the scene in front of me one last time today. I will return here soon. I promise.